Hello world, thanks very much for joining me. Today is Saturday the 9th of March 2019 and this is a look at the weekend astrology and just a hint about what's to come next week, which, given that it's Mercury retrograde, actually is looking quite positive. There's some good possibilities for getting things done next week. But let's look at today now. We have got an Aries moon. She's been in since Thursday 2027 UTC. People tend to be more active, but that can actually lead to impetuosity. Striving, it's likely to get you somewhere under an Aries moon, to be fair, because people do appreciate the extra work that goes in. But people can be very critical of each other, and particularly we can be very critical of ourselves when the moon is in Aries. Worth thinking about, because elsewhere in the charts, let me see, the moon is actually square Saturn right now. So there's a conservative mood, a serious mood in the air. And this means that some people might feel cut off from life generally. But the bottom line is that people tend to be coming from a place of fear when the moon squares Saturn. This kind of holds things up. It brings delays because people aren't sure, should I, shouldn't I? Basically, the best thing you can do is keep your head down, get on with work, keep organising things. And under an Aries moon, that's really not a bad way to look at it. The sun is sextile Pluto now. This tends to mean people digging deep, wanting to kind of clear up misunderstandings, find what is lost really, and maybe to kind of do things up a bit, make things a bit better in some area of our lives. It's actually not a bad time for leaders sharing power either. I've been really avoiding watching the news because I hear hints of it and it doesn't sound good to me. But if you watch the news, you might see some sharing of power coming into the picture today. I hope so. Anyway. Mercury square Jupiter, and Mercury is retrograde, so this is a tricky one. Essentially, there could be important communications. If there are, it's super important, and kind of there's quite likely to be quite a lot at stake there. Tend to get debate about moral issues, religious issues. People kind of want the truth, and people want to know that the truth is a lasting truth. Well, it really is when we're talking about divine truth, but it is also very difficult to understand. We never quite know what's coming in. In matters of love, Venus and Mars. Well, Venus is square Mars, so it could be tricky. Passions and desires create problems. Might be better just to let things kind of cool, because wherever there's a competition, and you can get people competing for, if someone loves someone and someone else loves them. And you can also get competing or competition between two people in a relationship. So again, a real good day for just keeping your head down, not getting too far into it. There might be impulsive spending. It might be difficult to keep the peace. That's the way it's going. But that is looking pretty negative to me. Let's actually look at Mars itself, though, because Mars is sextile Neptune. And that means people are... leadership tends to be fairly, dramatic and happen in a striking way. But basically, people are acting out of a belief in ideology, and that plays into the Mercury situation. It even plays into the Sun situation, and actually, I would say it plays into Moon square Saturn as well, because there's a chance for some upliftment there, where people are really trying to do what they believe is a really kind of true thing to go ahead with. People do try to find universal solutions to everything, though, something that's going to absolutely work for everyone in absolutely every situation. That, my friends, is a hiding to nothing, as we seem to say in the north of England, as far as I know. A hiding to nothing, it's just not going to sort of get anybody anywhere. That is really the string of alignments there, but we've got other things going on. We've got Mercury retrograde at the moment now. Today, Saturday the 9th of March, is actually the end of the retrograde phase intensified. It does actually go intensified again on the 24th, but we've actually got just over a fortnight, because that's a Sunday the 24th, when it's still Mercury retrograde, but it's not the most intense part. Hopefully the lessons slow down a bit. Hopefully the pace of life slows down a bit as well, so we can get hold of things. And then hopefully the pace of life builds up so we can be out there again. But I'm kind of hoping 3 stages forward there. You just never know. Next week, beginning to look really good though, okay? There's a good trine, there's a good forward shift for Saturn, and some real nice aspects coming up next week. I'm actually going to do a bit of a sort of bulk astrology thing I don't know, I haven't been awake very long, I haven't worked it out yet, but I'm going to do a real in-depth astrology thing sometime today to give everyone an idea what's happening next week. That's my plan anyway. So what is the moon cycle actually up to at the moment? We're just coming, well, we're not exactly just coming up to it, but we're not far away from first quarter on the 14th of March, which is next Thursday. That's coming in 10:27 a.m. We actually had the new moon on the 6th, so we've come a bit forward from that now. And of course, it's worth mentioning now, this is daylight saving time coming up this weekend in the States and Canada, apart from parts of Arizona and Hawaii, where I don't think they're actually having daylight saving time. Sensible people. It doesn't happen in UK until I think it's the 30th, but it's right at the end of the month anyway, a couple of weeks yet. But not to worry, we'll take account of it wherever we can. And I'm hoping, because your clocks have gone forward and mine haven't, if I actually manage to get online about 9:30 p.m. UK time, I can do some real good readings on Twig Brother there. So keep it real, keep it out there, keep it Astro Truth, keep it all the other things. I can't remember quite honestly, but there we go. Basically, keep it real. That's what really matters. And when things are worrying, when things are concerning, that isn't exactly reality. I know it's very practical to look at those things and to actually try and see the practicalities in it. And of course, you know, if there's, like, supposing there's not going to be enough money or there's not going to be enough of something that you need, then obviously you've got to plan and think about that. But the reality is, things tend to feel a lot worse than they really are in this world. We've got a massive media machine telling us that things aren't going to go the right way, telling us that things aren't going to work. They are. People are still smiling. Have you noticed? You still see people smiling every now and again. Be a smiler. That's my advice, because it's never as bad as it seems. So there we go. That is my advice for Mercury retrograde weekend, especially with the moon lined up as she is. Square Saturn, that's a difficult one. But, you know, nothing to worry about. I'm sure we'll get to next week and, you know, everything will still be fine. So, great. If you've enjoyed this one, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't, you know what to do. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Leave me a comment. We'll share the journey. Have a great weekend, friends. Thanks again for watching. Goodbye.